Oracles of Olympus. Welcome to Oracles of Olympus, the podcast of all things in miniature wargaming, role-playing, board games, and general nerd culture, all with a taste of cynicism, sarcasm, and nerdy banter. Please join Kyle, Ryan, CJ, and GM Drew as we break down all the stuff.
It's the Dirty Dozen, number 12.
Hello, all 12 of you listening to us.
It's one episode for each of our listeners. Share it with your friends, guys. Yeah.
We'd love to make it to 14.
Oh, man.
So, if we get episode 12, I'm GM Drew, your host. With me always.
Yeah, you are.
Just in case we forgot who you were.
I think host is loose into more like cat phrasing.
Yeah, he's like our kind of like director of tards.
He is. He's also the party pooper, though. Like when we're really going off about really cool, fun stuff, he's like giving us the evil glare of like, moving on, it's done.
Be productive.
No.
Like we actually have to keep going.
I feel like he's a cat herder, where like all the cats are jumping around everywhere, and he's like, "No, get off of there! No, damn it!"
Yeah, that's not wrong.
Yeah.
Small cats.
I'm Kyle.
And I am CJ, speaking to you from the past.
Damn it.
I like you had to think about that.
CJ might be a Time Lord.
He's like Time Lord.
But he's like the Time Lord that the other Time Lords like kind of like left behind. They were like, yeah.
But you know what? The other day I was talking to people about it, and they completely made sense what I do. They were like, "Yeah, that makes perfect sense."
Well, they are crazy
because they keep listening to me and they come to the light. This is how the whispers of chaos work, my friend.
This is how
slow and steady.
Before you know it, they're going to be like getting nipple piercings and flaying half their face and trying to overthrow the government. Yeah. With shitty auto rifles.
Oh, auto rifles.
And like, whatever reason, really, really like raghole Lennons. Like, I don't even know why.
Why do you think that they keep using auto rifles in GW? Because they're essentially only good at killing themselves. Like, basically, like the las rifle and the auto rifle, or like the basic weapons of the Imperium and Chaos, are only good at killing the very basic troops of the Imperium and Chaos. And maybe they use them because those are like the vast majority of troops.
I think it's the most...
God damn, are they disappointing.
It's the one that's most available. But if you have to remember, like, oftentimes in 40k we see the most grand wars and conflicts with Gilliman and stuff. Your average backwater world, it's basically like the sheriff trying to put down cultists with his revolver. So the autogun works just fine when you're battling sheriff's deputies.
Turns out in the far dark future, the AK-47 is still the weapon of choice.
It is. And then, like, if it escalates, basically, they have the PDF, the Planetary Defense Force, which is just the National Guard of 40k.
It's a big document.
Yeah, so... It's a big document.
Unroll the PDF.
The PDF. So, you bring together a bunch of weekend warriors, and they're like, okay, we're going to battle psychopaths that love giant gods carrying AKs.
Right.
I mean... That's the most common if we really wanted to play authentic 40k, it would be nothing but like farmers with AKs and occasionally very poorly trained. Not that I'm saying, I'm not dishing our National Guard; they're great troops. I'm just saying,
40k world.
We love
in
you,
the
Ian
40k world, the PDF are not known in the storyline for being the best troops. So we basically be playing games where everybody just hits on 5s and 6s, everything's strength 3.
I feel like they would be better troops in the storyline if the politicians in 40k weren't so fucking corrupt and like basically like, well, I could spend the money on equipping my troops and training them, or I could spend it on fine delicacies,
fine delicacies from across the galaxy,
stains.
and 1,000 new gold skulls along this like particular walk.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm Ryan.
Hi, Ryan.
Hello, Ryan.
We were doing introductions, and that was CJ had the longest introduction in the history of introductions. I love it.
I'm cognizant
We
about
have
time.
we have one.
It's fluid.
One review on iTunes to talk about this week. It's from Proud Waffle.
Proud Waffle.
Proud Waffle. I like
says,
that screen name.
Awesome podcast. I really enjoyed the podcast. Feels like you're with friends talking about nerd stuff.
Yeah.
I find this podcast very informative with a lot of humor. Thanks, that's me.
We try.
Yeah. If you like nerd culture and lots of laughs, this podcast is for you. Thank you so much, Proud Waffle.
Thank you, Proud Waffle. I like your screen name.
I also like that name. That's a good one.
Yep. All right. So first, let's
Is the waffle
on my
proud
list,
to be covered in syrup or
New
just
codex.
standing on its own?
New 40 Codex.
Oh yeah.
New 40k Codex Dark Eldar. I always like to call it Codex. Did you think you had a good army? You don't anymore.
Isn't that every week?
It is and it isn't, right? So like, right, the last few books that released, right? We had Tau. Tau were certainly real good, right? Were they the Codex that is going to make every other player sad? No. You can certainly pay to win with Tau, and you can bring your like cool 4-year-old versions of the Riptide. Mm-hmm. You can do that, and they're good. Yeah, we got to play against that recently. Although I think the list they were brought in didn't really help them succeed.
No, I think in that situation it didn't work well.
Yeah.
Not that we think you're a bad player, Nick.
No, Nick is a great player. I think he just went for like a 2-model army, and it didn't work out right.
Nick hurt me bad with that Forge World.
Did you do a bad two? Yeah, that's the Yavara is really good. But that's just it, right? Like, it'll be really good until it gets FAQ'd and the points get completely adjusted, or like they put limits on them, right? Like it won't stay good for that long. Necrons, right? Like they came out. Necrons, I think, were good when they came out, but they were not, to me, a book that was like, this is gonna change the meta. This would be like, these are really tough dudes for sure. Necrons,
They're very
I feel
mistake friendly.
Yeah, right. Like Necrons, I feel like are one of the best starter armies for new players because they're super new player friendly. Like, hey, do you want to learn how to play this game and not have to worry about making mistakes? Well, here you go. Here's a super durable army of undead robots. Like they're just a good, solid army.
They pop back out of this. Pop back up.
Dark Eldar are the army that's going to shit on your good army because they basically have all of the answers for all the meta good stuff in one book. Like, are you the guy who's a douchebag that brought 7 flying hive tyrants? Well, welcome to the Dark Eldar. Let me tell you how I'm going to shit all over that idea with poison everything, right? Like, are you the guy who's got a Tau gun line that's going to be, in the back and basically pelt everyone to death? Welcome to Dark Eldar. Let me deep strike basically my entire army and flamethrower you to death and shoot you with all these crazy guns.
They definitely seem like a spoiler army.
They're totally a spoiler, right? Like,
definitely a spoiler.
I don't know that they're an army that's going to win massive tournaments, but they're going to be an army that when you have like your meta Tau list or your meta Eldar list, you're going to come up against these guys and they're going to gatekeeper you hard.
I totally see approaching them and being like, oh, damn it, Eldar,
right?
Dark Eldar.
Like, oh, did you bring Imperial Guard army with 3
Drukari.
Bane Blades and like a ton of dudes to stand in front of them? Well, here's an army that has basically better versions of Meltaguns and enough regular firepower to scythe through all those shitty dudes you brought. Like, they're
Like
really,
with a quickness too.
yeah, right. Like they're fast. They're really good. They've got lots of options. I'm not going to go into super deep depth in the book. The one thing I did want to talk about really quick. These guys are the ones that have the different kind of approach to Force Orc, where if you take 3 patrol detachments, you get 8 command points for that.
No, you get 4.
Sorry, 4 command points.
4,
You're right.
yeah.
Sorry, if you take
And then
6 patrols, you get 8.
Yes.
And I know there's been a lot of talk like online, like people are like freaking out, like, but you can only take 2 or 3 patrols in most games, and da-da-da-da-da. Like, a lot of tournaments limit you to 3 patrols, and people are like, well, this isn't fair,
Well,
it's not
3
good.
patrols isn't that bad, though.
And
if you think about it, with 4 plus Battleforged, you have one more point than if you were a battalion.
No, because Battleforge is 3, and then you get 4. That's 7.
That's 7.
Yeah, but then a battalion. Sorry,
Yeah, battalion would be 6. Yeah.
Here's the thing, though. I don't think
it's hard to
anyone
do a
is-
brigade.
I don't think anyone's... No, it's not in this army. I think you're going to see brigades taken in this army all the time.
Yeah.
Because there is stuff in every single Force Orc slot here that you want to take, and the vast majority of it is cheap.
Well, I think you're right to a degree. The only thing is that you want to intermix and interplay the different rules for the different factions, and if you're a brigade, you're stuck into one rule set.
You
right?
are stuck in one rule set.
Like, I would love to have the I literally just forgot all 40k terms in my head, folks.
Yep.
Just 1 second.
He's rebooting.
I'm rebooting, loading.
CJ.exe has stopped working.
Is it the Cult of Strife that's the main witch cult?
Yeah.
So the Cult of Strife witches are really good.
Yeah.
Then you want to throw in like the Cobble of the Black Heart. Like I think those two together.
What's to stop me from taking a separate detachment after my battalion, though?
Your brigade, you mean?
Or my brigade, sorry.
You could, but I mean...
Remember that a
Once
troops
again,
choice for
you're
these guys is
falling
like
for the-
60 points.
You're falling for the Kyle model, which is I gotta paint 135 models.
You don't, though, because you're taking like a few 5-man troops, you're taking like a
But a
couple
brigade's
3-man
worth
bikes.
is still... We're still talking about 30 troops minimum.
It's
your
not 30 troops minimum, it's like 15.
It's 6.
Is it 6?
Yeah, you have to have 6.
Oh, okay, so 30.
It's 6,
That's, I mean, but you're
3,
still going to see 30
3,
troops
and
in
then
most
3.
lists. I don't think that's bad.
I don't know.
I mean,
I don't
think
know.
I think you're going to see brigades taken, and yeah, you know, some people will want to take I want to take homunculus covens, witches, and cabals. I don't think that's what you're going to actually see in like tournament play. I think you're going to see someone settle on. Here's the thing, right? Like the witches are good, but you're never going to take them as your primary force, and here's why: you're going to take Agents of Vect every time. You're going to take a warrior cabal because it's the most powerful stratagem in the game right now. It's a 3-point command stratagem that just says roll a d6. On a 1, your opponent, basically it targets an opponent's stratagem. On a 1, their stratagem goes off. On a 2 through 5, their stratagem fails and they can't use it for the rest of that phase. On a 6, their stratagem fails and they lose their command points they spent on it. Like, you're taking
Now,
warriors in this army.
I think
Witches
that
are good, but they're not that
You're
good.
probably not going to use that very often. It's like a once a game.
I think
Maybe
you're only
twice.
going to have to use it once a game.
That's
you
what I
don't
think,
need to
too.
use it super often, but here's the thing: when
It
you're
could be
bringing your
key at the
brigade,
right
you've
moment.
got 12 command points, so you can use it as many times as you want. Basically, you've got 4 shots at it, but like it's going to shut down a lot of the meta stuff. Like, are you playing Poxwalker Blossom? Well, guess what? You don't get to Poxwalker Blossom against
That's
this army.
true.
Like, there's just no
That's
scenario
very
in
true.
which I don't spend those 3 command points to stop a Poxwalker Blossom. Right? Like, it literally shuts down the one really good thing about Nurgle armies right now. It's just the Poxwalkers.
You're not wrong.
It shuts down so much of the different meta stuff you can do that I think, like, witches are cool. Homunculus Covens, I really think homunculus covens are super cool.
So you're going to build them?
You get tough.
I have homunculus covens. I'm not going to build them.
You're not going to build a full Dark Elder army?
I have other stuff I want to do. There's a scenario in my head in which I can see myself converting up a new Dark Elder army, but most likely if I play with them, I'll just use the current one that I already have.
The homunculus coven, you can get tough 5 racks.
Yeah, so they're basically like the majority of the army for the homunculus coven is tough 5. Like it's pretty good. The army as a whole seems really good. Lots of really nice options. Most of it's pretty cheap.
And they actually lost some things, and there's still a pretty good book because they lost the
yeah,
Blood Brides, they lost the
Blood Brides and
Trueborn.
Trueborn, which were just the upgraded versions of Warriors and Witches.
I don't think it made
basically.
that much difference. In the
Yeah,
game.
right. Like, well, so here's the thing. I think that you lost Trueborn because the blasters got so much better that they were like, hey, let's not have a unit that has 5 blasters and a blast pistol and 2 dark lances. Because you want to know how to make everyone not want to play the game? It's to let people spam fucking 5 units of that. Because that's what you would end up seeing, right? Like, you end up seeing people like, I just took the Vanguard attachment and I brought 3 squads of dudes with, 8 lances each. Like, that'd be awful.
Yeah, no,
Nobody would
that'd
want to
be
play
fun.
against that. So, yeah. It's a super solid. I definitely recommend checking them out. If you're looking for, like, the ultimate gatekeeper spoiler army, these guys are definitely it. I do think that
They're your friend.
I do think that they have the potential to be big tournament winners. I think what's more likely for a long time, to like until maybe General's Handbook, but
Chapter approved.
until Chapter approved, I think they're going to be more of a gatekeeper army. But I do think that they will definitely shift the meta, which is going to change what works for everybody else.
Cool. So there's new Shadespire stuff out
There is.
today
Delicious new Shadespire.
as we are recording this.
Yeah, so all future listeners, get
Yep.
your Shadespire if you haven't already.
So tell me what's new in Shadespire. You've got some cool models in front of me here.
Well, we've got 2 new warbands, they're called, for Shadespire. We have the Farstriders, which are the new Stormcast Eternals. They're based off of the Vanguard Hunters. So they have cool lightning shooting crossbow pistols and nice little hand axes they want to hit you in the face with. Also, the leader, he's got a giant hawk, and it pecks your
I think
eyes
it's
out.
a falcon.
Whatever.
He's a falconer.
It's a falcon. It's a bird.
I'm a falconer now.
And then we also have, if you want to play some even greater psychopaths than just Garrick's Raiders, we now have Magor's Are they fiends? Yeah, Maegor's fiends.
Which is nice because Garrick's Raiders kind of suck in my mind. Like, I'm sure there's a version of them out there that maybe I just haven't seen that's really, really good, but I don't like them. Like, I've played as Garrick's Raiders, and
they're hard to play.
they're really hard to play.
Not quite as hard as Skeletons.
yeah. I played a game of Shadespire.
Tell them
earlier.
about your experience with death.
Yeah. So I already owned the Sepulchre Guard warband, but I couldn't find my stuff, so I played with CJ's Sepulchre Guard on, I don't know, Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah.
And I played with Alex, and he was playing Fyreslayers, and I just couldn't do anything to them. Like, the undead, I don't understand
how they're supposed to win.
How you're supposed to win with them. Like, if you are a Shadespire player and you understand how to win with undead, please explain it to me because I am super
Put it in our
lost.
comments because we want to know.
Yeah, we really, really want to know how to win with them because they're really they're great looking models. They're super cool.
They've got some cool concepts with coming back from the dead, but God, they bleed victory.
They just exactly. That's kind of the problem, right? Like, your only way you inspire fighters is they have to be risen from the dead, but to rise from the dead, you had to give your opponent a victory point. So, like, I don't want to inspire my whole warband because they can't afford to. I just don't know what to do.
A lot of their objectives are not easy to score.
Yeah, right. Like, it's like the slowest moving warband.
So in Shadespire, I get you. It's a small skirmish type game.
Yeah.
And you choose a warband, which we have 2 new ones today, right?
So this
how
makes
many
like 6
how many
warbands.
models are usually in a warband?
Right. So the warbands range between
7.
3 and 7.
3 and 7.
Right. Yeah, and they're always set. You like when you play a warband. Like, if you play the Farstriders, it will always be these 3 guys. Okay. Right. That's kind of the beauty of the game. Is it's quick to assemble, quick to play. Like, out of the box, it is really.
I clipped them out and built each of those in 10-15 minutes.
Yeah, they're really like when you
Seems
get
easier
your
than Legion even.
It's much easier than Legion.
It's hands down the easiest miniature game to get.
And they go together really well, and they're beautiful miniatures.
Yeah, they're great. I mean, it's the
Some of the
quality
best
we've come
miniatures
to
they've made.
expect from GW, right?
Yeah.
Like, they make great stuff. I think there's a lot of intent to be cool with the skeletons. I just don't think it worked at all. Like, they don't feel good.
No, they don't feel good.
I don't know how to do anything with them because, like, the vast majority of your dudes do 1 damage, and the majority of the characters in the game have 3 hit points.
So
I've
played the skeletons quite a bit, and I have almost won 3 times.
I've won 1 game out of 3.
Have you?
Yeah.
I probably played like 10 games with them, and I think I've won maybe 1, but I've gotten close. And they always seem to fall apart at the end because everyone has a way to score. It's like, when you're playing the skeletons, it's like, I'm close to winning, and then suddenly they just run and be like, I killed 2 of your skeletons, I'm winning now.
Yeah, like, literally, that was, like, one of the games I played with Alex. Like, I was up by, like, 2 or 3 victory points, and I was like, oh, I could do it.
Yeah.
And then, like, he charges in Fuel Grimnir and kills a guy, and he's like, that was worth 6 victory points. Like I killed the guy, so that's a victory point. It triggers this condition over here, which then triggers these other 2. And it was just like, well,
you have to do a lot of victory conditions that aren't that fun, just like moving around or standing places.
Yeah, and even then, like, the problem I think is, like, if you only have 2 objectives on your side of the board and you need to control objectives, like, good game, man. Yeah. Like, your skeletons are not making it to the other side of the board, dude.
So, but yeah, finishing off with these 2 new warbands, they're really cool. They just came out. There's a lot. I went through all the cards. There's a tremendous amount of good cards. If you're a serious Shadespire player, you want both of these. You really do. Just for the cards.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like X-Wing.
The warbands are cool, but you want the cards.
Right, so, like, just like X-Wing, every pack comes with upgrade cards that can be used either exclusively by that pack or by everyone. Right? So, like, you kind of want all of the gangs to get the full, like, set of cards so that you can actually have all the options.
There is, for example, there's a new card that it's a ploy that when you drop it, it does 1 damage to everybody on the board. That makes orcs really happy. They just inspired their entire warband in 1 card. There's also a couple new cards that you just play the card and it inspires a fighter. That's pretty cool. There's a lot of movement shenanigans, ones that are -2 to movement. There's some cards where everybody's reduced to 1 movement for the turn. Like, that really hoses over, again, skeletons. So there's a lot of things in there that you'll really want. Also, the new warbands, they seem pretty good. The Farstriders have kind of a new mechanic in that everybody can do long-range damage, which is new. There's no other warbands that have that.
Every guy in the warband has a 3-range attack, which is awesome.
And here's what's cool. They just have to have... To inspire, they just end in the enemy territory, end of phase. That's pretty good. Pretty easy to inspire.
Good.
Magor's guys are actually a little harder to inspire, but not bad. It's just one of the fighter's attack actions has to succeed.
That's not, honestly, it's not too hard
not
to
too
inspire.
bad.
Like, you just got to hit somebody.
Yeah.
You hit somebody, and those guys are like, sweet, nailed it.
So, yeah.
So as we're also sitting here, CJ is diligently working on his Legion ATST, which is looking pretty badass.
Oh, yes.
So Legion's been out for a few weeks now.
Yes. I have absolutely fallen in love with this game. I'm having more fun playing or painting the models than I have painting anything in a long time.
Wow. 4,000 suns.
Oh, God. As someone who finished basically a full year of playing Thousand Suns in 40K, these models are just a treat. Just a real treat. Even painting white. And I'll be honest, if you haven't painted Stormtroopers yet, they're really not that hard to paint. If you want tips and you see me, just ask me. For those who aren't going to see me, basically all I do, you spray them white, you pick out all the little details in black. Then what I do is I take a black wash, like a Nuln oil, and I just lightly go in and put it in the crevices of the armor, and then go back with your white and make the center of your panels brighter white. Done. Super easy.
Also, for what it's worth, we're going to be starting some painting
Yes,
classes.
we are doing painting classes.
We will. I've been working on some different classes that we're going to do, and literally one of them is just called painting white.
Yep.
So if you are interested in learning how to paint white for your Imperial side of the StarWars Legion stuff, that'll be the class to make sure you attend.
That'll be the one you want to go to.
Right. Like I will be going over easy ways on how to paint white, and
Yeah, I mean,
we'll learn together a couple ways to do these
And people
things.
are playing Legion down here at the shop Monday nights,
Thursday nights, Saturdays.
Yeah.
We have quite a bit of Legion going on.
Yeah.
And I would say gameplay wise, so I've now played 4 games. And some observations I have. In general, I think the Rebels are a little harder to play. I think they're a little trickier. They're not really survivable. And they don't seem like they have as much. They just don't seem as good. I think that'll change as they get more characters.
It's kind of how I felt in the beginning of Armada too.
Yes.
It was like the Victory class Star Destroyer just seemed to shit on my Corvette and Nebulon every time.
Every single time.
It was like, oh, you brought like a medical ship and a tiny little frigate? Cool. Yeah. Well, I brought a cruiser. Like,
it's
get
like,
ready to get wrecked, kid.
I brought an actual cruiser designed for combat.
Right.
And that, in many ways, is how Legion feels a little bit. It's like, I definitely feel when I'm playing, and I'm mostly focusing on the Imperials right now, but I definitely feel like a trained professional military battling terrorists, and the Rebels do feel like, we're some dudes and we found some guns and we stole this walker. Like, it's like how it feels.
I actually have never been a combat trained pilot. Normally we use these walkers to load ships.
Yep. It's like
I figured, how hard could it be?
It's basically the ATRT is the 4-wheeler of walkers. Like, there's probably planets all over where people are just, out on recreation trips on an ATRT. And versus the Rebellion's like, we just totally stole, just commandeered like a 4-wheeler store, except it was an ATRT store. Like, they came in and the poor salesman's like, you want to buy an ATRT? And they're like, no, we're confiscating all these for the Rebellion. Get the welders out, boys. We're going to put some guns on these bad boys.
Like, get the JB weld.
Yeah.
I got the Bondo.
So, and you bring out this ATRT, and then the Empire's like, that's cute. We actually brought real combat walkers. So, yes. And then Stormtroopers, I don't know about the movie, but they sure are pretty friggin' durable in the game. Like, they save well. They can just stand up to a lot of enemy firepower. So that's pretty cool.
Do they shoot well?
No.
No, that's...
But they have the best... I'm going to call it a special weapon. I'm using 40K terms here because I don't know what else to use. But they have a guy that's carrying called the DLT blaster. It's like a big heavy-duty rifle blaster. And it is real good.
Cool.
It's like, do you like murdering people across the board and just blowing their heads off if they had armor? Then the DLT is for you. I've also found speeder bikes are really good. I have just been alpha striking the crap out of people. Like, I just give a good card for, like, ambush or something like that lets me get the initiative and go first. I activate my speeder bikes, just come around the corner, and it's like, I caught your dudes in padded jackets in the open. Yeah.
God. Damn, it's got to be a bad day to be a rebel every time. Like,
It is.
Hey, who are we fighting today? Oh, more of those guys that are highly trained with the good gear and all the armor. Cool. Are we going to get some armor? Well, we've got these padded vests.
Got some padded vests.
That should stop, well, not lasers and not slug throwers,
You
but
got, like,
maybe a rock or
Like a pilot's
punch.
soft helmet, like a
Yeah,
leather
right?
cap.
Yeah, like, it's just...
It's like if
really
you tripped
disheartening.
and fell and hit a rock with your head, it wouldn't kill you. You'd still be concussed.
Yeah, you
But
definitely would have a concussion and you might lose some cognitive ability. But you won't die.
we're freeing the galaxy.
Yeah, free in the galaxy. Like, out of all the shit you're stealing, why not steal some armor, right? Like, it feels like the one thing you really can't replace as the rebels is people.
Yes.
Like, you're always on the back foot in that department, so...
If anybody would
throwing
be
it out
like,
there,
we're going to storm you with just people and guns, it'd be the Empire. Like,
Well, how
yeah.
come the rebels never just take stormtrooper armor and then just,
I
like,
don't know.
repaint that shit, right? Like, there's tons of that shit laying around in the movies. Like, there's dead stormtroopers all over the place.
Everywhere.
Yeah, right? Like, nobody's ever gone, hey, Bill, you think we should maybe peel some armor off these dead fellas?
The Ewoks made drums out of their
Yeah,
They did
right?
make drums out of the helmets.
Those filthy little cannibals.
Filthy little bastards.
God,
So, but it's a good game. I'm really excited for the expansions. That the only thing that makes me sad about Legion right now is because I've started playing it at the start of it being a new game. I want everything. Like, I want to be able to sit down and be like, I want Death Troopers and Shore Troopers and an AT-AT and a TIE Fighter support. And those things just don't exist right now.
Give it
The only
time.
thing that makes
I
me
know.
sad about it is that FFG is slow as shit about printing shit.
God, are they slow?
Like, hey, you know what's exciting about releasing a new miniatures game? Let's release like 3 things.
Yep.
And then just go slow roll you for the next 3 years.
It's like, but we've got an expansion coming that we say will be out in a month, but it's really 6.
I know, it's so... Well, I mean, I think part of it is because they don't manufacture themselves, right?
Yeah.
Like, they use a third-party company that manufactures it. So there's on some level, I think a lot of that stuff is just stuff they can't control.
Well,
But goddamn, is it frustrating? Like, I want things on a reliable timetable, and it just doesn't.
And
they don't give me that.
when I was at Adepticon, I talked to one of the FFG guys I know. I won't say his name, but one of the things he told me, because I asked him that, I'm like, why the hell does it take you so long to get a friggin' expansion out? And don't laugh. I'm laughing here. It's because of the tokens.
What?
Seriously, he said part of the problem they have is he said that when they sell a kit directly, he says they're not Games Workshop. They're not just putting the models they made into there and be like, here's your kit. He said their games have cards, they have tokens, and they have the model. He said all 3 of those are manufactured by different manufacturers.
and then
so,
sent somewhere else, and then packed, and then
Yeah.
sent to
And it's the
them.
token guy who's slow?
well, he said that's just an example. Sometimes it is. He said, so you could get... Also, there's a different one for the dice. He said if it's a starter or something that has dice. So he said you could get the model and the cards, and we're like, oh, crap, the tokens are 3 weeks behind schedule. Well, guess everything else is just sitting there waiting for the tokens to arrive. Or it could be the cards or the dice. And so he said you're literally coordinating with 3 or 4 different companies that are subcontractors that manufacture their product.
Right. Like,
And you have to bring it all together and then have another company package it.
right. Like, that's the challenge they face as a company is because they don't produce their own product.
Mm-hmm.
They've got to have like 6 other companies producing these. It's crazy. Like, they produce really high quality products, which is nice. I just wish they did it faster.
I wish
But
they
I think
did it
that's
faster too.
I think that's the complaint that everybody has, right? Like, and if it wasn't that, I'm sure we'd find something else to bitch about as gamers.
But I mean, it's...
but it's still.
I mean,
like,
they could be the opposite. They could be whiz kids that literally crapped out a Star Wars
right,
expansion
exactly.
on us
Like,
every
WizKids are
week.
just like shit out expansions all the time, but they're like super low quality.
It is like you open your card pack and they're all like in a U shape of like dried,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
copy
I
or
can't even
paper
begin to tell
grade.
you how many times I've gotten my shitty, flimsy HeroClix cards and they're all bent up in the packaging. I'm like, well, that's what you get when you put out this shit like it's fucking pancakes, man. They're just churning these things out.
And my favorite thing with WizKids is the different quality of cardboard you can get even in the same set. You can
Yeah.
totally see where they ran out of one stock and they're like, F it, we're just going to... What else do we have in the back?
Yeah, right,
Like,
exactly. Yeah. It's definitely the difference, right? Like, you get with the quality comes the trade-off of it takes more time.
Yeah.
And I think, it's a good problem to have, right? Like, if you're going to have your fans bitching about something, it might as well be that I love your product so much I wish you were faster.
No
Right?
one's
Like,
ever going to
that's
complain
not
this
a-
was
that's-
too high quality.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Right. Like I feel like I harp on this a lot with FFG, but it's not because I don't like FFG. I love their stuff so much. I just want it faster.
And something I think that's a difference I'll point out between GW and FFG here is that, like, for example, the new Shadespire, it has cards in it and the models. GW could theoretically be having the same problem, and we just wouldn't know it because they don't announce things very far out of what's coming out.
Right, exactly.
FFG lets us know like fucking a year out what's coming out, and then we get really frustrated when it's not out in the year. Versus GW's like secretly these warbands could have been delayed for 3 months, and they're like, haha, surprise! 2 weeks later they're out.
Right.
We would know.
We would have no idea.
We'd have no idea.
I kind of, on some level, like being kept in the dark, though, because then I don't get my hopes up and end up waiting an extra 6 months for some expansion.
One of the most common things you hear as a shop owner or employee is, hey, are those ships on the way yet for Fantasy Flight?
Do you know when we're going to get more Y-Wings? Like, I wish I did. I wish I did.
If I knew when we were getting more Y-Wings, I'd be the most successful store in the business.
Right? I don't even want to know who's going to, like, win the Stanley Cup or who's going to win the Super Bowl. I just want to know when the next wave of X-Wing ships will actually fucking be here.
Yeah.
Like, that's the inside information I want, not which stocks are going to go up or down. I just want to know when the FFG stuff will be on the boat and in America.
It is a testament to their games, though, that they've survived with that longer releases of
and
how
that's
popular
the thing, right?
and
Like
successful they are.
their shit is so good that people are willing to put up with
They
for long
overlook
times because it's like, I don't care. I need, like, it's just like crack, right? Like,
Yeah, it is like
I
crack.
need the crack.
Yeah.
I will have the crack. If I have to wait an extra 20 minutes while JoJo goes and scores an 8-ball, I will. I don't want to, but I'm not going to not wait for the crack. I'm going to get a taste of that crack.
On that note, what else do we have,
Okay.
Jim Drew?
I've always wanted to try actual crack, just as a side thing.
You shouldn't say that on open airwaves.
Oh, I mean, it's fine, right?
All of
But,
our
like,
sheriff's deputies,
Don't worry,
he's
he won't
just
inhale.
kidding.
I mean, I would definitely do it in a way that wouldn't involve the sheriff's deputies, right? Anyway, I just
Like,
thought,
you're not just going to get high on crack when Adrian
CJ.
comes in, like, right that day.
right?
Don't worry, he won't inhale. It's fine.
Yeah, I won't inhale. There you go. But like,
Like, sorry, Adrian, he's high on crack
how can
today.
you at least not be curious about a drug that's so good that like you could lose your wife, you could lose your job, your home, all your money, and you're still like, you guys want to do some crack? Like, I just want a little taste of crack.
Must be
You know, I just
pretty
like,
damn good.
crack.
Before we got started, Kyle and I were talking about you played Pathfinder last night.
Yeah, I did. I have a home game run by Colin Strickland. Shout out to Colin. And it is with a really, really fantastic group of gamers. I'm a very delinquent player. I'm not good at showing up often, which I definitely regret, because it is a really fun game and I enjoy it. And last night, my character died in the most glorious fashion I've ever had a character die in an RPG, which is great. I was crushed to death by an ice whale.
An ice whale.
Ice
Ice
whale.
whale.
Yep, crushed to
It's not
death.
a common way I
I've
see
been an
characters die.
ex-wife of mine.
Yeah, an ice whale from like 30 or 40 feet up landed on my dwarf
My
barbarian.
ex-wife landed on you.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
Landed on my dwarf barbarian and literally turned him into fucking paste. Bloody cherry flavored paste.
Were you in a boat?
No,
How the fuck did you get hit by an ice wheel?
I
then?
was in an ice cavern and it was an elemental wave. So there was some shit went down, man. There's a lot of backstory to it. It's a long story.
So it was not like the party's walking. Roll.
No, it
perception.
wasn't like you're walking.
An ice whale falls on you.
Ha-ha!
You rolled
Suck
a
a dick! Like, you get killed.
Ice whale from the side hatch.
Right, exactly.
Pocket whale.
No, it was not like that. It was like towards the very. It was seriously. I died one round before it was killed.
Oh.
Yeah, like
Oh.
it was. I was one initiative step off from it being killed.
So a few weeks ago, Paizo, the company that makes Pathfinder, announced they are working on Pathfinder 2.
Yeah,
And
Electric Boogaloo.
the testing for that starts in summer, I believe.
yeah, there's something with Gen Con 2. I'll be honest, I haven't paid a whole lot of attention to it because I don't play Pathfinder anymore.
And if you didn't pay any attention to it, I guarantee I didn't pay any attention to it. 'Cause
Well,
you're like the RPG
I
god.
wonder how much it's being paid attention to overall anyway.
I keep going back and forth on that. Like I keep going back and forth in my head, like, oh my gosh, this is going to be super cool. It's going to be really successful. And then, like, the other half of the time, I'm like, yeah, no, this is not going to appeal to the core audience of Pathfinder. I don't feel like they want this necessarily.
I go
I just
back
don't know.
to Pathfinder was invented as an alternative to the mainstream D&D.
And now it's becoming D&D.
Well, I don't know because I haven't paid attention a lot to it, but I don't understand what its role is anymore because D&D 5e is pretty damn good and pretty damn popular. So having a second edition of this, I don't know what it appeals to. I think people who do play Pathfinder now are into it and will play it, but
But like, I guess the question, right, is like,
Did you talk to the guys last night about it, Kyle?
We chatted about it a little bit, and they kind of seemed interested to see what was going on, and I think that that they are definitely going to at least play test it. Whether or not they'll move on, I don't know. And that's kind of the thing, right? Like, will the core audience of Pathfinder gamers want to move to a new edition? I don't know. Like, I feel like part of the appeal of Pathfinder originally to a lot of those players was things aren't going to change. It's like the safety blanket for nerds. Like, nobody likes change.
Sure.
Nobody wants new and exciting. Like, they want comfortable and familiar.
Companies like change.
Well, companies do, but I'm saying like nerds.
Yeah.
Nerds don't necessarily like change, in my experience.
Yeah.
It's not high on their list of shit they love.
Right. I'm not a Pathfinder fan. I played it for a couple of years. I'm just not the crunchy bits type of role player.
It's not my go-to system. Like, I don't dislike Pathfinder. If you had me choose an RPG to play, it probably would not be the first one I would pick.
Right.
I would probably gravitate a little more towards like Savage Worlds or D&D. Like, I don't know if you've ever played Hellfrost, the Savage Worlds like fantasy setting. It's really cool. Like, I really like Hellfrost. And if I was to pick an RPG, that's probably the one I would go with. But I still think Pathfinder is definitely good. I mean, I played a lot of 3.5, so it's just back to playing 3.5 basically in my mind.
If any of you out there are following it and want to chime in, let us know. I'd love to hear what you're thinking, what's come out so far that you do like, and what you're thinking it will do in the space.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be curious to hear what folks think about it. Like, I know that it will definitely get some looks. I just don't know how successful it will be.
I think it'll get looks because it's new. People love new. I mean, people don't like change, but people love new.
Right.
Right?
Sounds counterintuitive, but it is true.
It is true. So, we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, I'm very curious. Bi-curious.
You're bi-curious. D&D Pathfinder.
D&D and Pathfinder. I like a little bit of both. Why do we have to choose?
So
society tells you have to.
Society doesn't rule me.
What did I see a few weeks ago that I was shitting on? What was it?
What did I see a few weeks ago I was shitting on?
I was shitting on a movie.
Society
I think it was the Batman Superman movie.
Yes.
Oh, Batman
Justice
vs.
League.
Superman?
No,
Justice League. God
So
damn.
anyway, I hated that movie.
Why can't DC make a movie? Like, they can't film their way out of a fucking wet paper bag, dude. It is so bad. Oh, my God.
Yeah, so I saw Black Panther finally.
Yeah.
Super good.
It's good.
Yeah.
I don't know that I would say super good.
I liked it a lot.
I enjoyed Black Panther.
It's now, did you see the number 3 grossing movie of all time?
I know.
Which kind of amazes me.
On some level, I feel like every time they release a movie, it's the number something grossing movie of all time. Because, like, who isn't watching the Marvel movies at this point? Like, how does it not, right? Like, when Infinity War comes out, that sumbitch is going to be the number something grossing movie of all time.
They've already
because, like,
sold more tickets than, I think, Star Wars.
Right, because we're all, like, it's kind of this generation's Star Wars.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We have all been watching it for the past 10 years. And, shit's good, man.
It is good.
It's real good.
And we're just waiting for, like, the big, like, Return of the Jedi. I mean, that's... I'm not saying it's on the same level, but, like, this of Infinity Wars is the lead-up to where all the stories have been going.
Right.
I saw a thing yesterday where they said it would take you 38 hours to watch all the movies in the MCU to get prepped for this movie. So where's the Soul
Well,
Stone?
I better take a week off.
That's the big thing. Where's the Soul Stone? Who's got it? Where is it?
The Soul Stone? The Infinity Stone?
No, the Soul Stone, part of the Infinity Stone.
Oh, okay.
See, I never read the
Is it in
comics, so I
Wakanda?
don't know any of this.
Is it in Wakanda? Yeah, maybe. Who knows, right? Like, we got a lot of Wakanda background in Black Panther.
We sure did.
We do.
Oh,
We do.
might
There's
be.
rumors that Hela has it, and she will come and make an appearance in this movie.
That'd be hella cool.
Ah!
I did a thing.
Anyhow,
I really actually
Wait,
hate puns.
I was gonna say, like, did Kyle just make a pun?
You did just make
Sure
a pun.
did make. I do make puns occasionally, even though I don't like
so to
them.
counterbalance my shitting on Justice League, I saw Ready Player One, and I gotta say, guys, this movie was made for my generation.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
As a kid of the '80s,
See, a lot of it was a little... Like, I was a little young, I think, during that. So
Yeah.
I think for your generation, it was more.
Thanks. Yeah.
For old people like Drew, they really got to dig into the nostalgia there.
Yeah.
Like I was watching you play those video games, and I was like, "That looks awful. I would rather just shoot myself than play those video games." Like, God no, please! It's
I
a
played
dot on a
all of
screen
those.
with like one joystick.
So really
How is it a
quick,
game?
just to kind of piggyback on the nostalgia thing, have you
Yes,
seen
Dean.
the Karate Kid YouTube series?
I have seen the trailer.
Holy shit, does that look sweet?
Does it?
Hell yeah! David... Oh my god. Oh my god.
I was
Daniel-
a Karate Kid
sorry,
Daniel
fanboy.
LaRusso.
Daniel-san is
Yeah.
the villain, dude. But like, I don't know. Okay, so if you haven't seen this, which...
I
Good on
haven't.
you for... Well, I'm surprised, because it's been all over YouTube for me.
Yeah.
Like, it's just in every ad that I
Me
see.
too.
It's like,
I
Yeah.
haven't seen it once, and I watch YouTube more than I should.
well, I guess
Watch you porn?
No.
they're different.
They're different.
This is the one with the people with the clothes on.
Right.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
Shoot. No, I haven't seen it. Sorry.
Okay, so basically, Daniel-san is like things are going well for him. Like life's going pretty good.
He's selling
He owns a
yeah, he's like,
dealership,
yeah, he owns
bro.
a car dealership, and he's like, I'm chopping the prices down for you. You know, like I'm gonna kick these prices in half. Like
He's like
and-
your stereotypical douche.
yeah, he's a kind of douchey car salesman, but you know, like he's kind of building off the success. And I never remember the blonde-haired kid's name, the bad kid from the first movie. What's his name? Anyway, the Cobra Kai kid is like kind of
Johnny.
like
It's
yeah, Johnny. There we go. Johnny is.
Put him in a body bag, Johnny.
Here's the thing: the only Johnny I can ever remember in my heart is Johnny Rico.
Oh, okay.
That's true.
Okay. Okay.
You'll have to forgive me if I didn't.
No,
remember
that's
Johnny's
fine.
name.
There's a lot of good Johnnies.
There's only one Johnny that matters. It's Johnny Rico.
We'll
This
we'll
made me
agree to
think of-
disagree.
Be real careful how you proceed. He's a hero of the Federation.
Listen, I'm not saying he's not. I'm just saying
That
there's a
made me
lot of
think
good
him just holding
Johnnies.
Des, like she was like literally impaled like 19 times by a bug.
And do you not get a little
like,
bit
kiss
weepy?
me, Johnny. And
Yeah,
like, blood
kiss
coming
me,
out.
Johnny's is like throwing up ichor and blood. Like, yeah, Diz, I think I'm gonna pass.
Just do a forehead kiss.
Right? Like, yeah.
We'll
Sleep now.
Eskimo kiss.
Yeah, right.
Go to sleep, Des. Go to sleep.
So, anyway, I got really sidetracked. The Karate Kid thing on YouTube looks super nostalgic and fun. I'm excited.
I think you have to subscribe to YouTube. to
I-
get
You do. You
anything.
have to get on YouTube Red, which I'm like kind of not really interested in doing.
I don't need another subscription.
I know,
service.
right? Everybody
Before
and
I
their
know
brother's
it,
got
like
one.
I'll have like 120 a month of like just 7 different subscription
Right?
services.
Like, it was like kind of a cool idea at first because it's like, oh, I don't need cable anymore because I can just buy the things I want. But it's like every channel wants to sell you their shit.
Right.
There is one clip of that I laughed really hard at where like he opens up the Cobra Kai gym
Yeah.
and or dojo, sorry.
It's a dojo.
Yeah. And Johnny's sitting in the office and one of his students is like cleaning the window. He's like, "Is there a particular way you want me to do this?" He's like, "I don't give a shit." Like
I
Go
watched
check
Lost
out
in
the
Space last night. I watched,
Okay, how was Lost in Space? Because I've been thinking about watching this
the
too.
first episode on Netflix. They're rebooted the series.
I've been watching Jessica Jones. so I haven't seen it
It's pretty good. It's the first episode is like everything that can go wrong does,
yet. Shocker.
and
that's
like my
Lost in
life.
Space.
Just like my life.
and it's almost a little bit I want to say too much stress
Too much stress.
to watch. Like, okay, you got. My wife was like, "Yeah, I'm out. There's too much going on, and everything. I don't want to give it away, but the production quality is really good. The actors are really good.
Okay.
So
What's up with the robot? Because I've seen the previews and it doesn't look like the robot's an alien instead of like the robot they brought with them on the ship.
okay, spoiler alert. So
Spoiler
mute your
alert.
thing real quick.
Mute it if you really want to know what goes on in Lost in Space.
So from the first episode, you're led to believe that the robots attacked the mothership that was carrying all of the families.
Fracking Cylons.
Right.
Fracking toasters.
So then in the
God, I
episode,
love
episode,
PSG.
Will helps one of them that also crashed
Okay.
and is helps
One of the
family.
robots?
One of the robots.
There's robot
So
families.
I think they're bad, but this one's good.
Wait, there's robot families?
There's only one robot.
Okay, good. Because it's going to tell you that the Cylons don't feel. They don't have feelings like we do, Sharon.
Did you see there's a Battlestar Galactica miniatures game coming out?
I did!
Yeah.
It's like X-Wing. Oh my god. I saw that. I was like, I will have you. I will have you. I can't wait to like paint like the names of the pilots on all the little bases. Like, this one's Hot Dog. This is Crashdown. Like, I'm so fucking amped for that game, dude. If there was a way that I could put that game into a syringe and mainline that some bitch in my eyes, I would. Whoo, I love me some BSG.
Let's talk about stuff coming to the store.
Yeah.
In the next, let's say next 4 weeks or so. Dominaria.
Dominaria?
Dominaria.
Dominaria.
That I.
Not Neria. It's not a venereal disease. It's Dominaria. Dominaria is the next set of Magic.
I think
pre-release is next week for that. So by the time you're listening to it, it's this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I think we have to add like a little parenthesis every time we say Dominaria that says "Welcome home."
Dominaria, welcome home. So if you're not a big Magic player, and we don't talk a lot about CCGs, but we'd be remiss not to talk about this one. If you're not a big Magic player and you don't really kind of know the background of the game, Dominaria is kind of like the original like plane for Magic. It's kind of like the home base of Magic. So we're going back to the beginning, back to Dominaria, which is kind of like a recurring theme, I feel like, in Magic. There's a lot of back to sets.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one looks really good. Lots of really kick-ass stuff, and they're doing some new things with Dominaria that they haven't done before. So one of the interesting things is they're basically having a pre-release. They've added more pre-release shit to every pre-release for like the past like 3 sets. But this one has a unique thing in that now, on the pre-release weekend, you can just buy whole booster boxes of the cards. So pre-release is also kind of the soft release.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's different.
Okay.
It's your pre-release, which is the regular release. Which
Yeah, right.
Gets your stuff now.
Not to be confused with Magic's PPPT, PQRPTQ tournaments. Because that's a thing.
Buy your cards now.
Yeah, buy your cards now. Yeah, Dominaria looks pretty good. The other big news for Dominaria is they're going back to actual promo cards for Friday Night Magic instead of the stupid tokens they've been doing for a while. Because, spoiler alert, nobody wants a bunch of fucking tokens, Wizards of the Coast. They want badass promo cards. Like, no one cares about a token.
Here's a bird token for coming in for Magic.
Right, like, I don't want a bird token, damn it. I want a cool card. Like, that's something to be excited about. So it's cool to see that come back.
Here's a sweet seagull.
We do actually on Wednesdays here we do D&D games. Some of them are Adventure League, some of them are home games. Those that don't know, now is a really great time if you want to come in and get into a D&D game. We have 3 of our tables are starting completely new campaigns this week.
Yep. Which should literally be like, if you're listening to this on Wednesday, today.
Yeah.
We start new campaigns
Even
today.
if you come in next week or the week after.
Future listeners, come in tonight.
It's really easy to jump into a game
Pull that off.
and get started with D&D. I'm also going to be exploring some other games on Wednesday nights to go along with our D&D nights. So I'll be looking for players, perhaps some Star Wars, perhaps some Savage Worlds. So look for that on our Facebook page as I
you never know what
start
GM Drew's
organizing.
doing next.
I know. Also, we are doing Specialist Games Sunday now. Do you want to talk about that, Kyle?
Yeah, do you want to talk about Idoneth first, or do you want to go on to Specialist Games?
Let's go on to the Specialist Games.
Not the new release for Idoneth?
No.
Okay. I just
Fish
thought I'd
people?
check. Fishman. Yeah, Specialist Games Sundays.
people.
So, we have determined that there are way too many games. There are too many games to fit them into a regular weekly schedule. So, for those of you who are playing miniatures games like Shadespire or Necromunda or Legion, if you don't want them to conflict with your regular nights where you're playing Warhammer or X-Wing, we are also doing miniature gaming on Sundays. Noon to 5, Specialist Game Sundays. So that's definitely going to be like a place where you can come in and get in some of those other games that you might not see being played as much during like the regular minis games nights, because Monday nights is basically just generic Star Wars gaming. But if you don't want to have to choose between playing X-Wing, Legion, and Destiny all on the same night, you don't have to. We're going to have multiple days. We have a day specially designed just to play Star Wars Legion. That way you can make sure you get in your Legion, sweet hot action, and your X-Wing, and a little bit of Destiny in there too if you're playing that one as well.
Sorry, I missed that earlier to talk about Deepkin.
So yeah, Idoneth Deepkin are coming out next week. That is the brand new faction for Age of Sigmar.
These
Oh
like
yeah.
It's
ocean elves or
These are
They're
the
ocean elves.
deep ocean elves.
Aquamen?
The aqua elves, not aquamen.
Oh, aqua elves.
Right. God.
Because there's aqua ladies.
So, yeah, aqua ladies. This is probably going to be the biggest release of a single faction for Age of Sigmar yet. I know this because I was talking to our rep every week. Just a little quick behind the scenes info. Every week when I place a Games Workshop order, the very last thing I do in every order is I set what's called a want number, or basically pre-orders, for the next week, for whatever the new item is that's coming out. And I always do. I always usually go a pretty healthy amount because your want numbers are guaranteed numbers for the most part. And when I got to Idoneth Deepkin this week, I kind of had an idea of what I wanted, and that was a cool little sweet chime I'll have in the background. When I got to Idoneth Deepkin this week,
We're real good about distractions.
yeah, we are. We're pros. We're super professional. I was like, yeah, I think I have an idea of how many books I want. And my rep goes, you should order a lot more than you think you want. And I said, yeah. And he's like, yeah, because normally when we have a battle tome or a new book that comes out, on Monday, because they have 2 days worth of pre-orders, right? We order on Tuesdays. He's like, on Monday, we usually expect 500 to 600 books to be pre-ordered. And yesterday, we had 1,200 pre-ordered. He's like, so we're definitely selling out on this. He basically told me in no uncertain terms that they are going to sell out of all of the Idoneth Deepkin stuff. It is all going, right? So the first stuff we have coming out for Idoneth is, of course, the book, the cards, the dice. Then we've got the Eidolon of Mathland, which is the really big guy with the huge sea cape. We've got Lotan the Sorcerer, which is the dude with the octopus, Octo. And then we have the Namardi elves, which are the blind, eyeless elves.
The poor people elves.
The poor people elves.
Oh yeah.
Those guys,
carp.
I ordered a lot of them, but if you are listening to this and you were even remotely thinking about Deepkin, get in contact with us right now, because I don't know for sure with allocations if we will get every single thing I ordered. I can't say that 100%. So if you want them and you're thinking about starting this army, jump on it, because the Namardi are the battle line. You can make the Eel Riders battle line too, but you have to take the Eel Rider General. If you want to get some Namardi, seriously, get in touch with us. If you're interested in the book, let us know, because they're going to sell out.
They will.
They will be out of stock for a while, and I can't tell you how long it'll take them to get more, because I don't even know if they knew how exciting this was going to be.
GW takes 4 to 6 weeks a lot of times.
Usually takes about 4 to 6 weeks to get stuff back in.
So
if you want to be playing these guys, definitely.
Other news. We have a tournament. We have our gentleman's tournament coming up. When you listen to this, it'll be that coming weekend. So it's 1 detachment, 1 battalion. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Come on in, get some casual Warhammer in. It's still a tournament, so bring a good list, but the idea is not to have it be too over the top. We also have a Legion tournament on May 6th. It's going to be 800 points. That is a Sunday. And it's right after Free Comic Book Day, which will be crazy. And then I'll be coming in to do a Legion tournament. Yay. So it'll be busy.
We're so good at this now. So that was the next on my list, is the Free Comic Book Day.
Free
Comic Book Day.
We're getting good at
First
these
Saturday in May, every May, is Free Comic Book Day, which falls on Saturday, May the 5th this year. And if you have never experienced Free Comic Book Day, shame on you for being a troglodyte who lives under a rock. Come into the store on Free Comic Book Day. We have sales that day. We have tons and tons of free comics we're giving out. It's basically Christmas for comic book stores. So, because we are also a comic book store, come in, check us out, get some free books. Definitely hit us up, because we'll have stuff on sale that day. It's really a spectacle. I highly recommend
demos.
it.
We'll have costume folks here.
We'll have some
cosplayers.
stormtroopers and stuff. Yeah.
It's going to be really cool. We'll have lots of different activities. Yes.
I won't be here. I'm so sad.
Because you're on a donkey trail.
Because I'm on the donkey trail to Chupacabra.
Yep. Eehole.
I'm excited this week. I got into a Call of Cthulhu game.
Okay.
That was going to be happening my first day there.
Call of Cthulhu?
Yeah.
Have you played Achtung Cthulhu?
I have not.
It's pretty cool.
It's the German version?
So,
It's a World War II Cthulhu game.
Oh.
It's not specifically German, but
Oh. Yeah, I'm
yeah,
excited
this one
there.
is being hosted by Ben Burns. He's one of the main Cthulhu guys of the game. So, I'm excited. Perhaps I'll come back and run Cthulhu.
No guarantees.
Well, We'll see.
What else do we have on there, GM Drew?
That is my list for this week.
So we should go around to our last word. Ryan, what's your last word?
You always try to start.
Okay, I'll
with me.
start. I know what I'm going to do. So
I never have a last word ever. It's always just
start preparing for this, buddy.
I start thinking about it in the shower for sure. Damn it! I just got black on a stormtrooper. Drrr! I'm painting as I'm talking to my future listeners. So
Or
my
listeners.
or just current listeners.
I'm speaking to you from the past.
Yes, but they're current listeners.
These are echoes from the past, wisdom from the past that you can use in the future. So, don't question it, Drew.
Okay.
Now you made me lose my train of thought, damn it. Anyway, I remembered.
You were in the shower.
I was in the shower, and I'm kind of on a Star Wars kick right now, which I know that surprises everyone.
Okay.
It's really good, I'm sorry. Not Last Jedi, but everything else. But Star Wars Rebels, the cartoon, oh my god, it's good.
It is good.
It's so good. So if you've ever been on the fence about it, watch it. It is a blast. There's 4 seasons. You can watch it on Amazon or Disney XD. I think they have, shocking, a subscription service.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So
I'm sure there's a subscription service. I don't think there's any Star Wars fan who's ever been on this fence about anything Star Wars. Like, I've never met a Star Wars fan who's I didn't watch this one particular part of Star Wars.
For the cartoons, I've talked to some that were on the fence for Clone Wars.
I didn't
and
like
If you're
Rebels.
on, you didn't like Clone Wars?
I did not.
Clone
You should
Wars.
go get a CAT scan and find out what's wrong with your brain.
I didn't like it, but
Well,
I do
well,
like
you're wrong.
Rebels. I do like Rebels.
Clone Wars was awesome. There are definitely some players that they're like, it's a cartoon, it's for kids, I'm not going to like it, it's too little kiddish. But it's now part of the canon since basically Disney blew up the expanded universe. We don't have a lot of canon left. This is part of that canon. So Rebels really gives you a lot of story leading into how the rebellion's created, as well as giving us some of our favorite characters. I mean, we get Ahsoka Tano from the Clone Wars. We get to see an epic duel between Ahsoka and Darth Vader. They kind of introduce some new stuff like the Inquisitors, which are essentially kind of these dark Sith. They're not really Sith. They're Sith, #Sith, not Sith. Right. And then you also, I mean, I saw an episode last night with Obi-Wan Kenobi in it. Grand Admiral Thrawn is just friggin' awesome. So you get a lot of the great characters in the Star Wars universe and series that really make it fun are all in this cartoon. So definitely check it out. It's worth watching.
I'll piggyback on that a little bit. New trailer for Han Solo came out. I'm getting a little excited.
Yeah.
So
I was skeptical leading that.
I was too.
I was skeptical.
Especially after The Last Jedi.
Oh, God, what had happened?
So,
I'm not going to go off.
I remember reading the old Han Solo books, and I know it's all legend now, but I've always had a soft spot for the early young Solo. So
I think that looks good. I think it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And are we doing a movie for that, Kyle? We are, I think, aren't we? Han Solo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are. Yeah.
We're going to go with yes on that one.
It's like the only problem with Han Solo is it's Han Solo competing with Deadpool because they're like a week apart.
And Deadpool's going to be awesome, too.
I know Deadpool will be good.
Yeah.
I am on the fence about whether Han Solo will be good or not. Like, it's going to look really good.
Yeah.
I'm skeptical about the dude who's playing Han Solo. # not my Han Solo.
Right. What's your last word, though?
My last word, I super really want to play. Like, I've just been on kind of vacations a little bit. Like, I just got back from Adepticon, and I just got back from Florida a couple days ago. And I want to play games, so come down to the shop and play games with me, because I am starved for games. Board games,
and
miniature
attention.
games, and attention, yeah. Either one. I'd like to play games, please. Come play games with me.
Oh.
My last word. I absolutely hate Forge World. Hate it. Hate it.
Ryan is basically Krampus.
Hate it. Yeah, no, like...
Why do you hate Forge
No,
World?
so, like...
Why do you hate fun things, Ryan?
No, so here's the thing.
Forge will
They're
make
like,
you a little
hey,
terse.
Yes.
Makes you
so,
terse.
like... Hey, that's like... it's so frustrating. They're like, let's just release things that completely break things and make no sense and are just super really, really good. So
That's
this
not
whole...
new, though.
No, I realize. I've always hated Forge World. And it's like... So we have this game. And we're just going to release... some things that are just way better than anything in this game,
Well, it's
and
because
then
the rules
you're
writers
just
of
going to
Forge
pay.
World are not the rules writers for GW.
I know.
They work in like a vacuum.
So why is it allowed? It makes no sense. It's like
Get good, scrub.
get good. I'm sorry, I can't just beat something that deep strikes every turn all around the board that has like
A 3 damage flavor.
We've out knocked out both of them with like half of our army tied up and shooting, so I just don't feel bad for anybody.
God, I hate Forge Rule so much. Just everything about it.
All right, guys.
And with that, we'll see you next week. That's a wrap.
Goodbye,
Bye, everybody.
everyone.